Welcome to Sai Tech Info channel, my dear students. In this tutorial session, I will be discussing about the basic concepts of organic chemistry so that you will be comfortable when you solve organic problems in any competitive examinations. Look at this electron transfer happening in a compound, let us call it AB. So this AB represents a compound, and from this an electron transfer, that is 2 electron transfer, is indicated by a double hooked arrow. This is called double hooked arrow, so that it develops a heterolysis. Hetero means different, so uneven cleavage takes place to give different entities like A plus and B minus, because A has lost 1 electron, B has gained 1 electron, so that you are able to get A plus plus B minus, A cation, B anion. In the second case, we have a single electron transfer. So what happens? There is no loss of electron. Instead, there is a homolytic cleavage, uneven cleavage, that results in, that is, A free radical and B free radical. The free radicals are represented by dot. So we have A dot and B dot. Okay, right. Electrophile means, philo means to attract. So we have already talked about this electrophile, which is also called electrophilic reagent. It is an electron deficient group, and that is why it goes in search of that is electron rich center. So in that case, it should be a positive ion, nitronium ion for example. So when nitronium ion attacks the carbanion, that is a carbon with being an electrophile, it goes in search of what? Negative charge. So carbanion, C minus, and that reaction is called electrophilic reaction. If it is a substitution, it's called electrophilic substitution. Similarly, in the case of nucleophile, they may be electron rich, and they go in search of positive center, that is carbonium ion. It is represented by C plus, carbonium ion, and that results what? That is a nucleophilic reaction. If it is a replacement reaction, it can be called substitution reaction. Now, I was discussing about the electron transfer. This electron transfer can take place within the atom also, within the molecule also. So in the case of pi electron transfer, you please note down pi electron transfer. What do you mean by pi bond? Whenever you have double bond, for instance C double bond C, in that case you have one sigma bond and one pi bond. So you can find a transfer of pi electron, that is one of the double bonds. One bond from double bond is, particularly pi bond, is getting transferred. In the case of benzene, this is benzene, C6H6, and these two structures are called Kekule's forms. Lord Kekule, he was able to visualize these two structures, the resonance structures of benzene. So look at this structure. First, there is a transfer of pi electron here. As I already told you, when there is a transfer of electron, what happens here? It becomes plus, and once again it is getting transferred to this place, so it becomes minus here. So likewise it goes on, that is transferring, and thereby the charges are continuously transferred. So this is called the negative bond, the negative charges are transferred here all over the benzene cycle. So thereby the delocalization, localize means position at one place, delocalize keep moving. So the pi electrons are moving within the benzene, and that is called delocalization of pi electrons, and that is responsible for stabilization of a structure, and that is known as resonance stabilization. So this is criteria, one of the criteria of the aromatic behavior. So we can call it the aromatic nature, that is aromaticity. According to that, resonance stabilization is a very important aspect. And then let us consider even this kind of pi electron transfer can be drawn even in the case of naphthalene like this. Look at the structure of naphthalene. It is the double benzene, that is the two benzene like rings joined adjacently like this, so that now you can see the pi electron transfer, it is getting transferred. So this becomes what? That is plus, and immediately this electron comes here. Okay, so it has to adjust here, so it goes here, so minus. So likewise it is a delocalizing, or able to follow. So such kind of delocalization results in Kekulés forms also. So here you can find the bond is like this, and it is fully inverted here. Okay, so this is known as pi electron transfer. Okay, so where the pi bond from the double bond is getting transferred, that results resonance stabilization. So if you have got any doubt, you can ask me immediately. Otherwise we will move to the next concept. Any doubt? Pavani will be the coordinator here. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let us move to the next one, inductive effect. Let us see what is inductive effect. Take down. Inductive effect, in fact, let me try to explain based on an example here. So I have cited 4 examples here. One is acetic acid. You know the formula of acetic acid, CH3COOH, and chloroacetic acid. Usually the COOH is here, and this is the functional group. So whenever you name any carboxylic acid, you have to include the carbon atom of the functional group also. And here you have got 2 carbon atoms. Now what is the IUPAC nomenclature for a compound having 2 carbon atoms? Eth. And what is the functionality here? Oic acid. So ethanoic acid. And in this case, in fact, this is the functional group. The first one is called, the first carbon atom attached to the functional group is called alpha carbon atom. So in alpha carbon atom, one of the hydrogens is replaced by chlorine, and that results alpha chloroacetic acid. Okay, so this is known as alpha chloroacetic acid. Now what do you mean by acidic nature? Ease of removal of H plus. How easier the H plus can be removed? In the first case, because of the methyl group is already an electron releasing group, so the electrons are supplied towards that. Okay, so towards the carboxylic acid group, whereas in this case it is the electrons are abstracted along the sigma carbon atom, sigma carbon chain towards the chlorine. So it can be called what? The inductive effect, the minus I effect. It's called the inductive effect, because the electron transfer, the electrons are shifted, okay, towards the electronegative atom, and thereby it makes easier for this H to be removed as H plus. Do you agree with me? So in that case, now you can say alpha chloroacetic acid is more acidic than acetic acid. So are you able to understand this simple concept? Now what about the electron transfer here? It is the electron transfer along the sigma bond, and it is directed towards a atom with the high electronegativity. And in alpha chloroacetic acid, which atom is a highly electronegative? Anyone? Which atom is a highly electronegative?
Cl, sir.
Yeah, so chlorine is highly electronegative, and that is why the electron shifting occurs towards the what? The polarity happens towards the chlorine. In the case of the third compound, what is the name of the third compound? Third compound. So this is a live session. If you don't answer, it will be a monologue only. What is the third compound name? The name of the third compound?
Chlorobutyric acid.
Gamma chlorobutyric acid. So gamma chlorobutyric acid means carbon atom 1, carbon atom 2, carbon atom 3, carbon atom 4. So 4 means buta. And what is IUPAC nomenclature in that case? That is 4-chlorobutanoic acid. Okay, write down 4-chlorobutanoic acid. And now you can check the acidic nature, or you can compare the acidic nature between third and first one. I mean, this is the third one and the first one. In this case, this is first one, this is second. I am comparing with the third. Now it is attached to the fourth carbon atom, where the influence by the chlorine will be less than that of the immediately attached one. Is it not? This is attached to the second carbon atom. This is 1, this is 2. Okay, you have to include the carbon atom of COOH also. Okay, right? So in that case, now this is more acidic than gamma. So alpha chloroacetic acid is more acidic, and let us compare these two. And even in this case here, that is, both of them are butyric acid, but in this case here it is attached to, chlorine is attached to fourth carbon atom, whereas chlorine is attached to the second carbon atom, and that is why this is stronger than this one. That is structure 2. What is structure 2? Alpha is more acidic than, that is, gamma. So do you understand this? So likewise, you will be given some compounds, and based on the inductive effect you should be able to compare the acidic strength. Okay, so if there is any doubt you can ask me, otherwise we will move to the next one. Shall we move?
Yes, sir.
Right. Pavani, can you explain based on this structure I have given clearly? Please go through that. Whatever I have given, I have neatly represented. Please explain based on this slide. So we have given 3 structures A, B, C, and compare the acidic strength of A, B, C. It is given C is more acidic. So C is greater than, B is greater than A. So can you explain?
Yes, sir.
Proceed.
So here C is greater than B and B is greater than A. As inductive effect, here H plus ion is.
What happened? H is removed as H plus. So in
Sir,
A there is no electronegative atom. And
so
leave it. The tendency to remove H plus is less in first case A, because there is no chlorine atom. There is no electronegative atom. We know acidic nature is ease of removal of
H plus ion.
H plus. And let us consider B. So this is gamma chloro, that is the position is 4 from the carboxylic acid, and here the tendency to remove H plus is slightly increasing, but better than, of course, the first compound. But when you look at the C, compound C, where chlorine is present immediately adjacent to the carboxylic acid, so electronegative atom is present very close, and that is why its acidic nature is more. Why? Because it can attract the electron towards itself, so that H can be removed as H plus easily, and thereby here the acidic nature of C is the highest in this series. Do you understand? Please take down. Now I hope you should be able to understand the shift of sigma electrons. That is very, very important. So that takes a very important role. The shift of, what are the important two terms here, two key terms, key points. When I say inductive effect, you should remember two key points. One is the presence of electronegative atom and also its position. Next, the shifting of electron. What electron? Sigma electron. So these two will definitely occur, and that effect is called inductive effect. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now let us move to the next effect, which is known as resonance. Resonance. In resonance, that is when a molecule can be represented by more than one structure by the transfer of pi electrons. That is very important. I was talking about this pi electron transfer in benzene, is it not? So similarly, it can happen in other structures, say other compounds like nitromethane also. So there arises a resonance. So what is resonance? When a molecule is represented by more than one structure by the transfer of pi electrons, there arises resonance. So you have to remember this point. Now let us consider nitromethane. So it can be simply written as CH3NO2. CH3NO2 is nothing but nitromethane. So nitro, that can be represented in this way, and you have got the methane here. So you have got the double bond. So double bond contains one sigma bond and one pi bond, and because of the difference in electronegativity, and in fact oxygen is more electronegative than nitrogen, so what happens, the pi electron transfer takes place towards oxygen, so that it becomes what? That is, in this case, minus, because it has taken 2 electrons here. I hope now you should be able to see the 6 dots, 3 pairs of dot plus 1. Okay, so that has disturbed the system, and that is why it has gained 1 electron, so it becomes minus. It has lost 1 electron, so it becomes plus. Okay, and this can take place here also. For instance, this, in order to satisfy, see, this plus can be satisfied by the transfer of a pi electron from double bond NO to O. Otherwise, it can take place like this. For instance, a pair of electron from this oxygen okay, may come here, so that it forms a partially double bond character, and it will also go there. So you are able to get a resonance. It is called a resonating, the resonance hybrid. Okay, it is an intermediate, and so this kind of resonance structures can be represented. Okay, so where you can see that is this delta minus represent partial negative character, and delta minus partial negative character for this oxygen, so that equally it is distributed, it is symmetric, right? Similarly, the pi electron can also occur in the case of ethene, that is C double bond C. Take down. Here you have C double bond C, which is nothing but alkene. So in case of alkene, you have double bond, is it not? So there is a transfer of pi electron like this, so that it becomes a plus and this becomes minus. So a carbon atom with the minus can be called carbanion. And what about this? This is called carbonium ion. Okay, so based on the electrophile or nucleophile, the centers are chosen. For instance, electrophile is approaching means probably it may attack the carbanion, where this carbon is enriched with electron. As you know, electrophile means the entity, the reagent which goes in search of electron or electron rich center. So it can attack the carbanion, so that substrate with carbanion. Okay, shall you move to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Now let us highlight another example here, that is the minus I effect, that is electromeric effect, that is shifting of pi electron. Okay, now you can find a transfer of pi electron from acetylene, as we have discussed. Now the attacking species is Cn minus, and what happens here, that is this attacking species will prefer carbonium ion, is it not? Because this is minus. Now can you tell me whether it is electrophile or nucleophile? Anyone?
Nucleophile.
Nucleophile. Why? Because this carbon is going to have plus, and this Cn has attacked this one, leaving the carbanion. So carb plus. So it has approached a nucleus, that is positive center, and that is why it is a negative species called nucleophile. So it is a nucleophilic attack. So it's a nucleophilic reaction. Okay, please take down. Next, there is one more effect called the Baker-Northern effect or hyperconjugation. It is also called the no bond resonance. So draw this structure roughly, and you can include this structure also to explain the no bond resonance. First let me explain with the second structure. So what do you call this? This kind of electron transfer is called hyperconjugation or no bond resonance. Now let us consider CH3 CH2 plus CH3 CH2, that is ethyl, and it has got the cation, so ethyl cation, and this can undergo a resonance. What kind of resonance? In order to compensate this plus charge, what happens here is this bond, that is you have got alpha and this is beta. So this beta hydrogen atom, okay, the bond is obtained from here, so that the transfer occurs like this. Okay, so leaving the hydrogen here as H plus, and that bond comes here, so it becomes C double bond C. So the plus is satisfied, so the carbon is satisfied with the 4 valency. Previously it was having only 3 valency, and that is why it has got plus charge. Now after transferring a single bond from CH, now the H attains H plus proton and double bond comes here. Are you able to follow? So it can undergo a resonance like this. Okay, probably this hydrogen may lose here, so that you are able to get a bond like this, double bond with the H plus here. So alternately it can go from anywhere, okay, based on the approach of the required reagent. Now let me explain here. For instance, here you have got CH2 CH2, and you have got the bond p orbital like this. Okay, so this is the empty orbital, and here you have got CH3, so it is sp3 hybridized. So this sp3 hybridized has one hydrogen with 1s orbital, so that bond is responsible for this. So there is an establishment of a double bond here, and that is why you are able to get this double bond by removing H plus. Are you able to follow? So this effect is called hyperconjugation. Take down. And particularly the beta proton. Beta proton means this is alpha, this is beta. From the beta position, the hydrogen is eliminated, resulting a compound, a resonance like this. Okay, so now let us focus more on the cyclic compounds. Previously we already discussed about the open chain acyclic compounds. Let me explain about the cyclic compounds. In organic compounds we have two major varieties. One is acyclic, that we have already discussed, open chain. The another is closed one, that is called a cyclic or ring compounds. So this ring compounds can further be classified into homocyclic, that is carbocyclic. Homo means that cyclic structure consists of same type of atom, in this case only carbon, whereas hetero means a different atom is present in the carbon chain or carbon ring. Now let us consider further division of a homocyclic into alicyclic and aromatic. And this aromatic can further be classified into benzenoid and non-benzenoid. Let me explain one by one. For instance, acyclic, I already discussed about the open chain. Here we have discussed about alkane, alkene, alkyne, etc. and the different function groups also. Okay, so all are straight chain compounds. So alkane, alkene, alkyne. Okay, so this is one set. And here homocyclic means that is they consist of same carbon atom, and where we have got alicyclic and aromatic. So let me talk about this alicyclic. Highly cyclic means, for instance, cyclopropane, it is highly cyclic. That is, it has got the structure CH2. It is the minimum possible structure. Okay, of course this is not stable. So CH2, CH2, CH2. And when you look at the formula, it is almost similar to the molecular general formula of alkene. For example, here also CnH2n. Let me consider butane, cyclobutane. So cyclobutane. So CH2, 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 CH2. Close the structure. So C4H8. That is the general formula of alkene. Is it not? For alkene we already seen CnH2n. Is it not? For alkene. For alkane you know CnH2n plus 2. For alkane CnH2n minus 2. So we are talking about cycloalkanes which is having the same molecular formula like alkene. So you have C4H8. What about C5H10, which is nothing but cyclopentane like this, 5 membered. And what about cyclohexane, that is hexagon. So but truly speaking it has got a different structure like a boat form and chair form. I'll discuss later about this. So these are all basically what? The carbon based structures having single bonds only. Then aromatic compounds. Aromatic compounds, this can further be classified into benzenoid compound and non-benzenoid compound. Let me talk about this benzenoid compound. So benzenoid compound, here you have benzene like structure, and that's why they are called benzenoid. So benzene is the first one. And when you join another hexagon like this, then it is called naphthalene. Are you able to follow? So when you add another benzene like structure in the adjoint position, now it becomes what? Phenanthrene. Okay, so likewise I mean anthracene. Okay, anthracene. So benzene and then naphthalene, then anthracene. Okay, so there is another compound called phenanthrene. This benzene structure is joined here, and that is called phenanthrene. Okay, now let us cite some examples, and you should know something about the heterocyclics also. Hetero means a different. For example, you have furan is a cyclopentane like structure, penta structure, but you have a bond like this. Okay, so oxygen is the heteroatom here, and this is known as a furan. And you have another compound like this, it's called pyrrole. And there is a pair of electrons here. And you have pyridine. It is something like benzene, but you will have one carbon replaced with nitrogen. Now you will have a structure like this. So this is known as pyridine. Take down PYRIDNE. And this is pyrrole, PYRROLE. Okay. Now there is a rule about the aromaticity. Okay, so what is that rule? Aromaticity means for a compound to behave aromatic, it should obey these rules, which is known as aromatic rule or aromaticity. That is, it should obey Huckel's rule. It should obey Huckel's rule. So Huckel's rule means a 4n plus 2 rule. It means it should have 4n plus 2 number of pi electrons. Let us consider benzene, and you know in each double bond you have one sigma bond and one pi bond. Okay, so you have got 3 double bonds. It means 3 pi bonds. So each pi bond, for instance, this n represents the number of ring. After we have got only one ring, so 4 into 1 4 plus 2, that is 6. So we should have 6 pi electrons. So we have got 6 pi electron, so it can be called aromatic, or 3 double bond. Do you understand? When I say 6 pi electrons means each pi electron has 2 electrons, is it not? So 3 into 2, 6. And the second rule for aromaticity is, have you noted down?
Yes, sir.
Right. The second rule is, that is coplanarity. Coplanarity means, that is, all bonds and atoms should lie in same plane. That is called coplanarity. When you look at benzene, you have got a hexagon like formation of carbon as a hexagon ring, and from each carbon hydrogen is, that is, extended. All are lying in the same plane, and that's why it's called coplanarity. The third condition for a molecule, for a compound to be aromatic, is it should undergo delocalization of pi electrons so that maximum stability can be achieved. Okay, and so I think I already explained about this delocalization. You should be aware of how to transfer the pi electrons. So this is known as pi electron transfer. So one by one it is getting transferred. So and this is, and all these participating structures are called canonical forms. They are called canonical forms, and these are all hypothetical forms. Hypothetical means imaginary forms, but by when a molecule, when a compound has a more number of canonical forms, it has got more resonating structures, means stabilization is more. Okay, and these two final structures are called, this one and this one, Kekulé forms, because a lot Kekulé proposed this structure. It appeared in his dream actually. And generally a benzene ring can be represented like this, like a hexagon with the delocalization represented by dotted ring. So this is called pi ring cloud. So when you draw the perspective view of benzene, you can understand about the what you call the coplanarity. Here I have shown, for example, you have got the benzene structure basically, is it not, C6H6, almost something like that is, we have spreaded the that is any blanket on the floor. Okay, so we have got the benzene on XY plane, the floor plane, and I have here indicated the XY planes also, assuming that this is X, this is Y, this is Z means, and this is XY plane. So the benzene is drawn in XY plane, and here it is drawn very clearly. And since each atom has got a pi orbital, and all these orbitals are delocalized, that is above and below the benzene ring. So this is something like a ring ball. Okay, so ring cloud, and that is why it's called pi ring cloud. Now when you look at from top view, from here, when you look from here, okay, so what happens, you are able to get a structure like this. This is the top view. Okay, so you can draw comfortably later. And as I already mentioned, you have got different types of that is aromatic compounds. All of them can be established, that is aromaticity. For example, benzene, how many, according to Huckel's rule, what is the number of pi electrons here? What is the Huckel rule? 4n plus 2 rule, is it not? 4n plus 2 pi electrons. Here one benzene ring, therefore 6 pi electrons. So each double bond represents pi bond. So 3 into 2, 6 pi electrons. And what about this naphthalene? So how many pi electrons can you calculate? So you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 into 2, 10 electrons. So do you have 10 pi electrons? You work out 2 into 4, 8 plus 2, 10 pi electrons. Got it? So it comes correctly. And this is also 10 pi electron. And what about anthracene? So here you have got 2, 4, and 4 plus 3, 7 into 2, 14 pi electrons. You can work out the 4n plus 2 rule also. So 4 into 3, 12, 12 plus 2, 14. So it is accurately correct. And in the case of phenanthrene, this is known as phenanthrene, you have got 14 pi electrons. In fact, all of them are in what? The same plane. So coplanarity is there, and all of them can undergo delocalization, and that is why these are all aromatic compounds. So you have to establish like this, and all of them are looking like benzene. That is why they are called benzenoid aromatic compounds. Do you understand? And I need to talk about the non-benzenoid aromatic compound. So you have aromatic compound basically, but it doesn't look like benzene. Okay, so this is one of the important question asked in any of the examination, that is called tropolone. So tropolone is, it has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is septagon or heptagon structure, but it is not looking like benzene. Benzene means hexagon, but this is septagon or heptagon. So that is why it's known as non-benzenoid aromatic compound. Still it is aromatic compound, and one of the carbon atom is attached to a double bonded oxygen. Please note down the structure. So what is the example of non-benzenoid aromatic compound? Anyone? What do you call it?
Tropolone.
Tropolone. Now, as I already explained about the heterolytic, heterocyclic compounds, okay. Now let us check the aromatic behavior of some of the heterolytic compounds. For example, as I already mentioned, pyridine. This pyridine has got nitrogen as heteroatom, but now listen to me very carefully. You have got 3 double bond, and elsewhere you have got carbon H, CH, 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 but here there is no CH, instead there is only one nitrogen. So this structure is called pyridine, and nitrogen is the heteroatom. The question will be asked, what is the heteroatom present in pyridine, which is nothing but nitrogen. Now whether it is what do you call, the aromatic compound or not, we can check by the Huckel's rule. What is Huckel's rule? 4n plus 2 rule. So you can apply 4n single ring, so 4 into 1 plus 2, that is 6. So we have to check whether it has got 6 pi electrons. Okay, now let us check 1, 2, 3. Yes, we have 3 pi electrons and 6 pi electrons, 3 pi bond, so 6 pi electrons. But you have got another pi electron at nitrogen. Okay, but here we are not included that because it is not participating in the resonance, and that is why it is a non-bonding pair. Are you able to follow? It is not involved in the bonding or bond overlapping or delocalization, and that is why it is aromatic. So pyridine is aromatic compound. Next, what is the structure of this one? What is the name of this structure? Anyone? Just now we discussed furan. So this furan has got oxygen as the heteroatom, and you got 1 pi electron, another pi bond, another 2 pi bond, and the third is the oxygen non-bonding electron that is participating in the delocalization, and that is why it is aromatic. Are you able to understand this? It just looks like as though it is not aromatic because it has got only 2 pi bonds, 2 double bonds, but it doesn't appear, it is not like that. It includes the delocalization where the pi electron, that is the non-bonding electron, the lone pair of electrons of oxygen, involves in the delocalization, and that is why now you have to count that pi electrons also. So therefore 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6. So 6 pi electrons. Got it? Similarly, in the case of, what is the name of this compound? Anyone? Just refer. It is pyrrole. This is pyrride. This is pyrrole. So in pyrrole, whether it is aromatic or not, still it is aromatic. Why? Even though it has got 2 double bonds, okay, but the third one where a lone pair of pi electrons, that is pi electron available at nitrogen, that involves in resonance, and that is why you have to include that one also. Now you count 2 plus 2 plus 2, that is 6. So it has got 6 pi electron. So Huckel's rule is satisfied. Now what are the 3 important criteria, the conditions for a compound to be aromatic. So this is the aromaticity behavior. What are those criteria? Number one, what is that? It should obey
Huckel's rule.
Huckel's rule. Second point, coplanarity. All should lie in same plane. Third one, what is the third one?
Delocalization.
Very good. So delocalization of pi electron should take place and thereby resonance stabilization occurs. Is it clear now? Okay. So if you got any doubt, you can ask me. Any doubt? Pavani, any doubt?
No, sir.
Gokul? All of you come on camera.
No, sir.
Switch on your camera, please. Google, are you there? So if you have got any doubt, you can ask me.